Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everyone. We're here today with a brand new Cabral Concept. If you want to follow along and for all the links and takeaways, head on over to stephencabral.com/2470, because today we're going to be talking about the 9 worst toxins to watch out for in cookware. So on today's episode 2, I'm also going to share with you on the show notes page what to purchase then for healthy cookware. I've gone over all these recommendations in the past. You can always find them at stephencabral.com/resources, all the ones I use with my family and I recommend in my private practice. Let's go over though what to watch for, because maybe you're already doing well and maybe there's just a few things that you may need to replace. So without further ado, let's head into the show. 9 to watch out for. The first one that many people are already aware of or becoming more aware of is aluminum. This is why I really believe everybody needs to run that minerals and metals test. And if you don't already know about that and you've never done an at-home lab test, we actually offer this complimentary. People can't believe it. But you have to understand is that my goal is to move integrative health and functional medicine into the main population where most people have never heard about it before, don't even know that there's any type of medicine out there besides working with their primary care physician. Our job is to show them what is going on inside of their body and how to fix it. Well, on that lab, it looks at aluminum, lead, cadmium, arsenic, and mercury. And so aluminum, though, is so pervasive in the environment. It's in the water, it can be in the air, and it's in our cookware, all right? So aluminum pans are the most offensive. What does this mean? Well, they're basically made out of aluminum, all right? So when you go to cook with aluminum pan or aluminum like saucepan and a, let's say, aluminum spatula or stainless steel spatula, and that's my Boston accent there coming out, when you scrape that pan, inevitably you're getting these little microparticles of aluminum in your food. Not good. And over time, no matter what, that pan begins to break down. And at high heat, it can leach into your food. So now we've got aluminum, which we know is linked to Alzheimer's. We know it can be linked to autoimmune issues and nervous system dysfunction as well. Not a good thing. Now, I will tell you that aluminum in the core of the pan is okay. Just can't be in the outside, right? So if you get a stainless steel pan with aluminum on the inside, okay. Why is aluminum so prevalent with all cooking pans? 1, it's very, very cheap to make, okay? So low cost. 2, it heats up really quickly. So that's really nice too. It doesn't take a long time to heat up. And 3, it's super light. So you've got these very light pans that heat up quick and they're cheap to make. They last a long time. So the problem is aluminum is a known neurotoxin that affects over 200 biological functions in your body. Be careful that you are not cooking with aluminum. Number 2 is Teflon. Well, we've been talking about Teflon since the 1980s. The Mayo Clinic was one of the first ones to sound the alarm. It's one of the top 10 things in the environment that causes cancer. Not good. Yet, somehow, the FDA still allows it to be used. Makes no sense. Don't understand that. Literally causes cancer. That's that. What is Teflon? PTE. All right, so you might see PTE because they might not say Teflon because they know people know now Teflon is bad, right? Well, it's non-stick. It's kind of nice. You cook with it. Nothing sticks to the pan. Make an omelet, all sorts of different things. There's no sticking. Nice. Problem is, you're sacrificing your health. So PTE stands for polytetrafluoroethylene. All right, so PTFE, you want to make sure it's PTFE free. I'm going to give you a list at the end of what to look for. All right, just make sure that your favorite brand is PTFE free. The third one is PFOA. It's a fun one, right? Well, what does that stand for? Perfluorooctanoic acid. And this is a similar non-stick coating added to, let's say, an aluminum pan or even a ceramic pan or something like that. And really just a different type of Teflon. That's really it. It's a different type of nonstick. So when we talk about plastics, which we'll be talking about in a moment, it's just a different type, but it's a nonstick. You always have to be really careful of nonstick, right? So if it says nonstick, you have to ask yourself, how is this nonstick? Is there a coating that could lead to cancer? Because we don't want that, right? So that's number 3. Number 4 is cadmium. This is a little bit more challenging. Cadmium is not going to be listed necessarily as a part of the overall makeup of the pan. So what you may need to do is actually ask the manufacturer, was there cadmium used in the glaze or the coating? The problem with glazes and coatings on the inside, I don't care if something's like, they might use cadmium on the bottom, no problem, right? Like there's no issue. It's not gonna touch your food, it's fine. But what cadmium does is it lends an evenness to the pan so it doesn't get discolored. Again, like no big deal if the pan gets discolored by heat. But again, American consumers care, right? They're like, what happened to my pan? It doesn't look good. Okay, like understood. But like that's the issue, is it's really only there to serve as a uniformity in color to make sure that things don't start to get all warped in terms of color. So you can simply just ask. And because cadmium is an issue. Cadmium can lead to thyroid issues, can end up causing issues with the liver and kidneys as well over time. It takes years to build up. Again, these are micro doses that are added to the body. We just don't want it there. And again, that's tested for in that minerals and metals test too. All right, the next one is nickel. I'll be honest with you. I don't see this too often. I really don't. I don't see nickel being as big of an issue. Nickel is used in glazes as well. It's used in some of the stainless steel. I almost never see this be an issue. I really don't. And I'm going to share with you, 2 reasons. One, it's certainly an issue if it's in a powder or dust form, like with manufacturing, and you breathe it in. That's a problem. If it gets in your lungs or touches your skin directly in the powder-based form, it can cause dermatitis, it can cause irritation, and it may even cause cancer if inhaled. All right, but we're not really talking about that. So like that's the danger with nickel. The other is gradual exposure over time. That's a problem. That's when pans are basically breaking down. So if your pan, you look at it, has scratch marks on it, and you're using a metal spatula, I'm just going to say it right now because I won't wait till the end because I always want to make sure people listen to the whole show, but let's say you don't. You're really never going to have an issue with nickel if you're not using a metal spatula on the pan and scraping the pan. Okay, so I just want to, then you can kind of put your mind at ease about nickel. I almost never see it elevated on a minerals and metals test either. So what I recommend people use is a bamboo spatula or some type of maybe even ceramic one, something that's not going to be metal on metal. Because if your spatula is stronger than the pan or as strong as, it could take the coating off, all right? So you want to be careful on that. All right, that's that. So that's an easy one. That's an easy fix. All right, the 7th one is lead. This is serious. This actually does matter. It really does. I know people aren't using like, oh, I'm going to go out and buy a lead pan. I know that you're not. I get it. Totally understand. The problem is lead can be used in glassware, which I recommend. Glassware can be great. I'll kind of give you a rundown in just a moment. But it's also can be used in ceramic, and I recommend ceramic as too. So you need to just look at the manufacturer and say, does this manufacturer test for lead? And if they do, and it's lead-free, you're good to go. So like that's the thing. It's like it's not that you can't use glassware. It's not that you can't use ceramic. You can. Just need to make sure that it's lead-free. That's it. But again, talk about a neurotoxin, not just for children, for adults as well. Lead over time, massive inflammation, massive oxidative stress, massive free radical damage, leading to dis-ease in the body. All right, the 8th one is plastics. You might say to yourself, well, I'm not cooking with plastics. I would hope so, right? I would agree with you. The problem is this. People now microwave plastic bags and drop plastic bags in boiling water. Makes absolutely no sense to me, but I get it because the general population are told this bag is microwave safe. You just can't do it even if it says it's safe for microwaves. It's safe for whatever. And here's the reason why. These are food marketing companies, not food safety companies. There's a huge difference. And all it means is the bag is safe to be cooked in, not for you. That's why they write that. Microwave safe. Yeah, it just means that the bag will not melt. That's also a problem, right? Like, what are they doing to these bags that now you can't even melt them under 400 degree heat? It's unbelievable, right? You don't want that leaching into your food, trust me. So you've heard about bisphenol or bisphenol A before, but all those BPs, right, BPA, et cetera, are going to be harmful for you. And it's not just with the cooking and those types of devices, but it's also the plastic cutting boards. Get rid of the plastic cutting boards. Go with bamboo, go with the walnut, go with an olive board, go with something else. Don't go with plastic. The wood is just as antimicrobial, they've found. Of course, nature, right? So yes, maybe you have to use a little olive oil or something like that to keep the boards fresh. It's worth it, right? Your health is worth it. You cut on those plastic cutting boards, you're cutting into them. That plastic's going into your food and your kids' food. We don't want to do that, right? Lead to infertility, hormonal-based issues, ovarian dysfunction, liver damage, thyroid issues, free radical damage, aging, and so much more. Number 9 is polystyrene. So all of the different styrenes are toxic for our health. What does this mean? Well, these are all of the plastic cups, the styrofoam cups, the paper plates, the plastic utensils. They're made with a compound called polystyrene or just styrene. And the problem is that all of these plastics and styrenes lead to more neurological-based issues from inflammation. So eye issues, cognitive issues, balance issues, everything to do with the nervous system. So we just have to be careful with that. They make bamboo plates. They make bamboo plasticware. You just want to look for the coating, and it might even say styrene free, which is great. We're going to be coming out with a lab in 2023, I believe, that actually tests for styrenes. Pretty impressive, right? I mean, I think it's phenomenal. It's not our lab. Of course, we work with the lab manufacturers to say, hey, can we test for this? And we look for it, and we make sure that, again, people then know to eliminate that from their life. Number 10 is brominated flame retardants, also referred to as BFRs. Okay, so think of this as spatulas, rubber-based utensils like that you're using, tongs, items like that. Anything that's fire resistant, grillware, etc. So what it is essentially a coating, brominated, right, bromine, flame retardant that is known to be part of what's called a halogen group that can greatly disrupt your metabolism, your thyroid, and create massive oxidative stress. So you don't want anything that's flame retardant. You really don't. That means it's coated. So you don't want flame retardant mattresses for your children or sheets. These things are very dangerous. They off-gas, and any of these things being entered into your body can affect your liver, your kidneys, your brain, your thyroid. So those are the top 10 to stay away from. And then what I'm going to do is simply link up another show at StephenCabral.com/2470. StephenCabral.com/2470. And that will be the healthy cookware to use. Because I will go over ceramic, the benefits of that. Cast iron, who should use that and who shouldn't. Glass containers, who should do that and not cook with glass like Pyrex. Stainless steel. And then also some of the ones like bamboo spatulas that I just mentioned. And if you also want to cut to the chase, for all the ones that I recommend, you can always just go to StephenCabral.com/resources. Those are all my favorite companies I've used over the years that I like to give some love to and share them with you as well. So hopefully this show is helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if it was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp hearts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.